Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Vi. I'm e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend. And today we're talking about one of the most trending topics in marketing, which is AI and its adoption. And I'm particularly excited about this session because by now I have lived through many supposedly groundbreaking, industry-altering, approach-shifting events in marketing, and some died off as trends and hypes, and some were adopted. But foundational truths and basics, they still stand the test of time. And I'm very excited for today's speaker. He is Stefan. He is the CEO at Ecommerce Today agency. He and his team, they have helped their clients generate millions in revenue using email marketing. So we trust him that he knows what's up. Stefan, would you like to say hello?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. My name is Stefan Chiriacescu. Don't bother remembering the name. Just call me Stefan. And I'm very happy to be here today and to talk to you about email marketing and what we do as an agency with AI in relationship with email marketing.
Fantastic. It's going to be a good one whether you're a beginner or not. There's some excellent nuggets in the presentation. And before we begin, there's a couple of things to know. So this session is being recorded and you will receive the recording in your inbox in a couple of days. We will include the slides as well. So if you missed anything, that's going to be in your inbox very shortly. And if you have any questions for Stefan at any point, there's a Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. So you can drop your questions in that, and then we will either pause to answer those, or we will wait till the end of the presentation to pick those up. We also have Ira, who's monitoring the chat. So if you have any Omnisend specific questions, you can ask it in there. You can leave your comments as well about what we're talking about. So yeah, don't worry about anything. Any questions for Stefan, put those in the Q&A tab. Any other questions in the chat. That's it from me. This stage is yours, Stefan.
Okay, so once again, my name is Stefan Chiriacescu. I want to say a special thanks to Omnisend for having me over for this webinar today. It's great to be here. I am going to talk to you again about email marketing automation specifically and AI. And this is a talk I held at several conferences around Europe, in which I was talking about AI in email marketing. I'm gonna kind of break it down that they're like how we really use AI, not just what you see on LinkedIn when you're like post this here and you're gonna get amazing magic wands that are gonna do everything for you. No, practical advice on what we do as an agency to use AI within our email marketing every single day. So long story short, just a little bit about me. I've been in e-commerce for 15 years. I was first an e-commerce business owner in 2010. I sold that in about 2014. And after that, I did freelance work, consulting, primarily with companies from the US. And in 2019, together with my partner, we started Ecommerce Today agency. Today, we are 33 people in the agency. We're a full-service e-commerce agency. And I love to say that our core service, where everything starts from, is email marketing. We've grown like consistently as an agency based on email marketing. Somehow everything starts with email marketing, and it moves into everything else: SEO, PPC, etc. What did we accomplish in email marketing? Well, in last year, for example, our clients generated $29.6 million in revenue. In total, it's about 65 million in the last 4 years. The growth has been quite exponential, especially last year, and this year we're already very close to breaking this number already. So email marketing revenue is generating a lot for our clients, a big chunk of their actual revenues. What's interesting, because we have around 100 clients that are we're actively working with us today, we do our own numbers, we do our own statistics. So what we've seen in these last 4 years is that 70% on average of the revenue they are generating from email is from automation. It was like 68, 71, 69, 72. It's around 70%, which is quite massive. And it's actually very very reassuring for us because we are focusing on automation. We tell our clients we don't need, hundreds of newsletters, tens of newsletters per month. You need a great automation structure in place. So yeah, this is what we do with email marketing. And oftentimes, and I hope it's not the case from the people who are here in the audience, businesses don't give email marketing automation enough attention. They focus on pushing paid traffic to their site, and paid traffic right now is so expensive. It's like 4 or 5 times more expensive than when COVID started, maybe even more than that actually, and 7, 8 times more expensive than before COVID. So it's very expensive to push new traffic on your website. If you're not doing everything you possibly can with that traffic that you're paying a lot of money for, it's very hard to be profitable in today's ads market. So when you're looking at ROI, PPC is typically going to give you 3 to 10. 3 to 1 up to as much as like 10 to 1 ROI, like Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok ads, etc. When you're looking with email marketing, and these are numbers from Google and ChatGPT, we're just searching and we're like, okay, let's see what they give us. It's like 36 to 1 up to like 42 to 1, like more optimistic ones. And again, we have our own numbers, and it's not here, but I can tell you that we ran the numbers last year for our clients. Everything our clients paid to ESPs, to Omnisend, for example, and to us as an agency to manage those accounts, and we were above 70 to 1 ROI in what they were generating. It's super important. It's the most important element of an e-commerce business today because of the high ROI. Okay, so before we talk about magic sticks and magic wands and AI and what that's going to do to a business, I got to tell you that 95% of the new clients we talk to on a daily basis, they don't have their fundamentals in place, their basics. They're looking for magic wands. They're looking for something that's just going to turn around and make them profits, but they don't have basics in place. And it's very important. I always start with this. It's very important we have these basics in place because it's things that get resolved within minutes, maybe hours if you need a specialist there with you. But if you know what to ask for, again, it can be under an hour to just, covering everything. So first of all, let's have a good understanding of emails in general. Email marketing, what's it comprised out of? We're going to be talking about transactional emails. We're going to be talking about automated emails, and we're going to be talking about newsletters. Transactional emails oftentimes get overlooked. And these are going to be the emails that get your highest open rate out of anything you're ever going to send. As you probably know, the more emails you send are getting opened, and especially getting clicked on, the better your sender reputation will be with inbox providers like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, Verizon, Apple Mail, etc. So when you're overlooking the transactional emails, these are new customer, forgot password, new order, new shipment, new invoice, transactional, okay? When you're overlooking these, you're actually leaving on the table something that can significantly improve your reputation. And these emails need to be clean. They need to be focused on their action, their purpose. You shouldn't complicate them because that's going to cause your customer support team to get overwhelmed because the message isn't getting across. But if you do add a button on those emails saying, see our bestsellers, go to your account and see your order, make that button bigger, generate a click action on those emails. This is going to help improve your sender reputation. It's going to draw some traffic on the website as well in the meantime. Automated emails, we're going to talk about them in detail, just a bit there. We're going to tell you exactly what we set up for all our new clients, whether they're corporate or mom and pop store. We have the same formula in the beginning, the first step. Newsletters, pretty standard, traditional email marketing, emails that get sent out to everyone and anyone. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, new arrivals, this weekend only, 20% off. The traditional newsletters that get sent off. And one thing I want to mention about newsletters is when we're sending out a newsletter for one of our clients, we always take into account, or we try to take into account at least, that we need to give something to everyone who opens that email, not just to the people that click and end up using that coupon code and make a purchase, because that's going to be 0.1% of everybody who opens, or 1% out of everybody who opens that email. So we actually had we tried to incorporate something useful from our blog articles, new arrivals, trends, etc. And something funny, actually, something we tried with a client and it worked. We added jokes in all of our emails. And when we stopped adding jokes, the client reached out to us and said, hey, people are asking me to add jokes back into the newsletters I send out. So something as simple as adding a joke. Of course, it has to match with your brand personality and so on, but find something so that even the person who opens that newsletter but doesn't want to buy is going to be left with the feeling of, okay, I would open that email again. It wasn't a complete waste of time. I'm going to open the next email that comes out from this brand, from this sender.
I wanted to add on just really quickly, once you mentioned the jokes, I had a client where we added recipes. So we added a seasonal recipe to one of the newsletters at the very bottom of the email. And then the second time we didn't do it, we literally got like tens of emails being like, hello, where's the recipe? So, and then we did it again and again. And then for some reason, we didn't add it because we thought, well, it doesn't quite fit into the newsletter that we were sending out. And people complained again. So, that kind of thing that's very practical, but still aligned with your brand. I just wanted to share that it's so simple yet so effective.
Exactly. And you give everyone something. You give everyone something, they're going to give back. They're going to continue to engage with your emails and your newsletters. Okay, choosing the right email marketing service. This is critical because if you don't have the right email marketing service, if it cannot register all of the actions that visitors and customers are making on your website, you're not going to be able to have email automation set up. And if you don't have email automation, you're going to be missing out on at least 70% of the email marketing revenue that you could be generating. So look at what CMS you are on. You're on Shopify, on Magento, on WooCommerce, BigCommerce, PrestaShop, OpenCart, you name it. If you're on a custom one, tough luck. It's a bit more difficult for you, but it's definitely doable. Integrations with Omnisend, for example, take 2 to 3 weeks with an agency that knows what they're doing. And as long as your custom website does, it is open and are able to understand the code and generate the observers and just update the site a bit. So choose an email marketing service that has a great email automation structure in place. You need to be able to, in the email marketing service, you need to be able to see view activity on your website. So track visitor activity. On the pages where you're tracking, you need to be able to see page URL and details about that page. Is it a category or a collection? Is it a product? Is it a static page? What is the URL so you can actually make splits in your flows? Is it if it's a product, what's the price? What's the title? What are specific attributes about that product, like the brand that the product has? And it's critical. If you don't have these things, you're just not able to do quality email automation, and again, you're missing out on a lot of revenue. Do the basics. The domain authentication, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. Just last week, we had a client reach out to us. They did not have DMARC enabled, and we were like, how are you even functioning without DMARC after February of this year? So this is standard. You just go to mxtoolbox.com, you enter your domain name, and they're going to tell you what you need to do step by step, and you can take care of it with your hosting support. You just reach out to them and tell them, look, I have these instructions for DMARC, these instructions for SPF, these instructions for DKIM. Can you implement them for us? And 90% of the times, your hosting provider or your Shopify support is going to help you in implementing these if you don't have the skill set or the knowledge internally to do it. They are critical in before you do anything else with email marketing. And last but not least, basics. Unfortunately, we still have to explain this to clients today. Cleaning up and maintaining the subscribers list. Just short story, we had a client, apparel business, US based. They came to us. They had, I think, 250,000 subscribers. And after our cleanup and assessment, and we ran their emails through cleanup services, and we looked at the engagement in the last 12 and 24 months, because it was occasional business, we told the client, I don't remember exactly, but it was around 60, 70,000 subscribers we wanted to keep and dump everybody else. The client was furious. He was like, why did I hire you guys? What are you doing? And what kind of, what is this? Luckily, we were able to convince him. Like 6 weeks down the line, we were already generating more revenue out of those 70K subscribers. It could be like 65. I don't remember the exact number, but significantly lower, like about a quarter of their actual subscribers. So we were generating already more revenue just from newsletters, not talking about automation, that was just the cherry on top, with much fewer subscribers. And this was because of the reputation that the client was actually getting. By sending to people who are engaged, people who open, this gives the inbox providers confidence that they can actually, that you're not just spamming people, basically. So clean up and maintain your subscribers list. Look, a simple example. Of course, you have to think about your business, if it's seasonal and so on. But a simple example is if you are, just do a segment. And that segment can be last 6 months received at least, users that received at least 10 emails, opened 0 emails. Not just those 10, but opened 0 emails. Odds are whoever's in that segment for you needs to go. You need to exclude them from your regular email sends. They're hurting you, truthfully and entirely. Okay. Alrighty. So we kind of covered this, the DKIM and the SPF and the DMARC part, just briefly, but it is important, again, for spam-related issues, for deliverability. It's critical for deliverability. It's important to protect your brand from email spoofing and phishing, like the security alert that you get. Don't believe all the emails that you get in your inbox saying your email has been spoofed and so on. Those are 100% of the times phishing attempts, bad actors out there. Ignore them. Just, again, go to MX Toolbox, and you're going to be able to do right away, in minutes, you're going to be able to see if you need to do any work with regards to your domain. And last but not least, yes, if you haven't already authorized your domain, you need to authorize it and authenticate it. Because when you authenticate your domain, you're using your own domain's reputation. You're not relying on the reputation of others that may be sharing that pool you are added into in the beginning. But critical, I wouldn't say important, I would say critical, when you do set up your domain and you authenticate it, you need to warm it up. And how do you warm it up? The simplest way, you just take all of your subscribers, you split them by inboxes, Gmail, Yahoo, Verizon, etc. And then over the course of like 2 weeks, 14 days, you send just one email to everybody slowly. You do a drip. Basically, on the first day, you pick 3 Gmail addresses, 3 Yahoo addresses, 3 Hotmail, 3 Verizon, 3 Microsoft, and so on. On day 2, 5 of each. On day 3, 10 of each. 20, 50, 100, and just spread them out over the course of 14 days. Of course, on day 14, you should have the most emails that you send out. And that's basically going to help authenticate not authenticate, but introduce, sorry, would be a better word, introduce yourself as a safe sender to inbox providers out there. Otherwise, if you just authenticate your domain and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, send an email out to all of your subscribers, especially Gmail and Apple Mail, they're going to be very reluctant. And most likely, they're going to put you in spam. It's going to be a couple of weeks at least for you to get out of there. At least, at the very least, you need to have good email automation in place, and most likely it can be much longer than that. So super important. Warm up and ramp up, and it's not rocket science. MX Toolbox, the link I was mentioning earlier, is now on the screen, and the second one is Postmaster on Google. Google Postmaster is something we, as an agency, use to monitor the health of our clients' Gmail reputation as every single month, because we want to make sure that that is intact. The vast majority of subscribers, at least in our clients' databases, are Gmail addresses. So as long as we're clean there, there's no spike in abuse reports or anything like that, then we should be okay with other inbox providers. I believe it's going to be the same with a lot of the people here today listening to us. I'm going to open all of them up. Okay, so what impacts your sender reputation? Bounce rates, spam complaints, engagement rates, and deliverability. Deliverability, like content, basically. So bounce rates, everybody most likely should know a soft bounce and a hard bounce. What we like to do when we get either soft or hard bounces is just to set up some sort of automation to exclude those for even soft bounces, exclude them for the next 30 days from any email sends that gets sent out. Hard bounces get removed immediately. You just don't want to send newsletters or any sort of email content to an address that bounces, because that impacts your sender reputation. I would add here, maybe once a year, just verify your entire subscribers database with a service like bulk email checker, where you just drop everything and you see if there's like any spam traps maybe that were added in that list, just to be on the safe side. Normally, if you have a sunset flow, in within your automation, you should be able to filter these out on your own. But just for safety, you're better off doing this for yourself as well. Spam complaints. If you're getting, first of all, clients oftentimes talk to us about spam and unsubscribe rate. They kind of associate spam reports with unsubscribes. And we explain to them that unsubscribes are healthy, unsubscribes are good. If we don't have a problem with making the unsubscribe text bigger, not hide it, because they're like, make that smaller because I don't want my list to diminish. No, unsubscribes are actually healthy. Of course, when you see your unsubscribe rate increasing, you want to analyze and see why that is. Maybe the content you're sending needs to be adjusted, or maybe you need to add a recipe or a joke to your emails to increase engagement and have people like your emails. But abuse reports, those are worrisome. In an ideal scenario, and for 95% of our clients, abuse reports should be 0. Because if you get abuse reports, you have to look at the bigger picture. Number one, are you really keeping your list clean? Are you keeping your list engaged? And are you building personas? Are you sending newsletters still like, 2010 to everybody? Or do you have at least 2 groups of people that you can personalize that newsletter that you send out, at least, like with the products you're showing on that email, to make it more relevant to that specific customer avatar? You don't need to go wild, and everybody's going to have a lot of avatars and brand affinities and so on within their subscribers base. But at the very least, you should have at least the core avatars of your customers and split them and adjust your newsletters to that. At least 2, maximum 3. You don't want to go higher than that, because it's just going to be too much, too resource intensive. Engagement rates we covered already, and deliverability. More text, fewer images. The more text you have in an email, the fewer images you have in an email, the better the deliverability is going to be for that specific email. You're actually going to be able to land in inboxes more. Images need to have maximum 600 pixels in width. That's the recommendation. And you need to not go over 100 kilobytes in code size, because otherwise Gmail will clip your email and you're not going to be able to know anything from what that email. It's a bad experience, first of all, for your subscribers. What clients come back to us with, yeah, but I got this email from Amazon or Dior or these giants, and it's all images. I want to do the same. And we tell them, okay, but they have a reputation, you have a different reputation. So let's work on getting you there first, and then we can do all images. It's not going to work. Just A/B split test it yourselves for a couple of emails, and you're going to see better revenue from more text, less images, and it's just going to change your opinion in your mind. There's a couple of best practices for list hygiene. So remove inactive subscribers every 3 to 6 months, or set up an automation like an automation sunset flow. Use double opt-in to ensure you have high quality subscribers. We do this for 100% of our clients. We don't care if they're EU based or US based, or we have clients in South Africa, for example. We always recommend double opt-in, even if it's not a legal requirement. And monitor spam complaints and remove flagged users, which we just covered earlier as well. But if you have additional questions, just put them in the chat here. So, preparing for email marketing.
Before we go ahead, there's one question. Where in the email do you find it most beneficial to add your interesting fact or recipe? What worked for you?
For the client where we did that exercise, and I'm thinking now about other such whimsical attempts, we had that also towards the end of the email, but there was a hook in the beginning, in the subject line, something that like in the preview text, I think it was like read through and you're gonna get a good laugh or something like that. And yeah, it was in the preview text, and then they were like, okay, let's scroll down, and they looked in the email. And I think for the vast majority, it's we have another client in Canada that does food, cookies and whatnot, and for them we do the same. We have recipes. Another client in the US that does olive oil, and we also have recipes in the emails. Even though the email is not about the recipe, the email is about a new flavor, a new discount, and so on. But towards the end.
Fantastic. I'll just add from our side as well that we did it at the very bottom. And also we added to, I think it was a very seasonal email, like the first one we sent out. So it made sense to have that recipe there. And then after people started asking for it, it's like, imagine a magazine, and at the very end, you have all the little nice things. So that was the same approach we used that as well.
Yep. And I just remember now, in the UK, a client that does non-alcoholic wine, which is like a tea, and we have cocktail recipes at the end of the emails as well. So yeah, it works. So the ultimate checklist. Number 1 is Omnisend setup. For yourselves, Omnisend is going to be able to deliver everything and anything that a small business or an enterprise is going to be able to get you. We use it for both small and large clients. And it's such a great advantage that people don't realize that today you can be on the same platform, use the same service, have access to the same tools as a small business that large corporations have access to. It was mind-blowing 15 years ago to have this. These tools were extremely expensive back then. Is your platform integrated with your store? So have you made the connection between the two and tested it just to ensure that, if there was any sort of coding done on your WooCommerce, for example, that's where we typically see issues. Does the integration work correctly? If not, you need to clean up your website. Just test for subscribe and then look at your user's own activity within Omnisend and see, if it's tracking, if it's able to track, if it's allowed by the website to track the activity of your own user. Domain authentication, set up SPF, DKIM, DMARC records for your website. And also, of course, if emails are sent from your branded domain, and of course, definitely not Gmail or Yahoo, definitely, please. Subscribers health list. Are you using double opt-in for new subscribers? If not, do it. It may seem like you're getting fewer subscribers, but the quality is what matters here. Have you cleaned your list in the last 6 months, i.e. removed inactive and bounced emails, and do you regularly monitor bounce rates and spam complaints? These need to be on a monthly checklist that you do. It's just a monthly checklist. If you add like bookmarks to all the screens where you need to go, which is what we do for our clients, you just control and click, 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 click. You open everything up, and it takes you 5 minutes to double check them all. Sign-up forms and lead capture. Do you have a clear email sign-up form or pop-up on your website? Is that pop-up optimized for mobile? Is that pop-up optimized for dark mode? Double check these things. They're very important. Do you have a value incentive for new subscribers? If you don't, it's not going to work. Put plainly and simply, the results are going to be significantly lower than when you do have an incentive. And if you're worried about cheapening your brand, go to your biggest competitors, go to the large brands, and you're going to see that they do the same. They don't show pop-ups unless they give something to the visitor. You're not cheapening your brand. It's common practice and expected by anyone who sees a pop-up. Are subscribers tagged or segmented based on how they sign up? This is I'm trying to think if we had clients over the years that came with clients segmented based on affinities, and I'm afraid the answer is going to be no, but definitely you need to do it. We do it for all our clients once we gather data and we're able to make educated guesses in the beginning, and then ensure that they are correct. Key automations in place. Okay. So what we built for for any new client that starts working with us is going to be a series of what we call fundamental flows. Number one, the welcome flow. The welcome flow needs to have the pop-up and the entry ways for the new subscribers to come in. It needs to have an incentive. And what we typically do is we have 3 emails in place. Just 1 second. I'm going to put them all up here on the screen. So we typically have 3 emails in place, which have the target to convert new subscribers into new customers. We typically talk about the incentive, and then we do a reminder 1 to 2 days after the first email was sent, and then a last chance where we put kind of pressure, urgency with regards to timing and the coupon code expiring. This is a very important flow. You need to have an incentive. It has 2 main targets: to capture email addresses from the traffic you're most likely paying a lot of money for, and to help convert those new subscribers into new customers. On the abandonment side of things, we built 4 types of flows, again, for every single client that we work with: site abandonment, browse abandonment, cart abandonment, and checkout abandonment. Site abandonment is traffic is made up of users that abandon the website before looking at a product. We ran our numbers just for last year, and 3% of the automation revenue was generated from the site abandonment flow. And you're going to think, wait, they abandoned the website before they looked at a product? We had the same question mark 6-7 years ago when we implemented this flow, and then we figured it out. Yes, they landed from a brand protection campaign. That's where most of the traffic is landing in the site abandonment flow. So brand protection paid campaigns, they land on your homepage or on landing pages specific to your brand protection campaigns on Google Ads and so on. And life gets in the way. they have to take their kids to school, lunch break is over, something notification came on their phone. It's 3% of the automation revenue of 29.6 million US dollars that we generated for our clients. It's something. It's meant to be there. The second one is browse abandonment, which happens once a user looks at a product but doesn't add it to the cart and abandons the website. What we typically do here is we have a series of 2 emails. In these 2 emails, we show the client the product they were looking at, of course. Ideally, best-selling products or top categories. This is going to depend on your product, and we strongly recommend you A/B split test this. If you're a large website with a huge catalog, most of the times what we've seen is that a lot of showing the top categories or hot categories of that period of time is going to work best than showing your best-selling products. If you're a smaller store, best-selling products, and you have to start working on building up confidence. Maybe show a testimonial from a client. Maybe show your store score on Google. Anything that can start to help build up confidence in the customer for them to come back and look for more products and go to the cart, which leads us to cart abandonment. Cart abandonment is when people abandon the website after they added something to their shopping cart before, but they never reached the checkout. And over the years, we've learned that people do this for two primary reasons. Reason number one is they're using the cart as a wish list. They just save things there. And please, please, please check your website. If your cart is not saving items added to the cart, at least for 24 hours, do it, because that's a massive, that's a very easy win. You just change your cache cookie lifetime for the cart, and it's going to be a massive win for you. So people abandon for these 2 reasons, wish list respectively. The second one is they're looking for the products you are selling on Amazon or a local marketplace or one of your competitors' websites for better pricing. So you need to find out which of the 2 is typical for your own customer, for your own vertical, for your own base of customer base. What we typically do on the shopping cart is we already start to bring in the customer concierge side of things. So we're like telling people that we're here for them. They have items in their shopping cart. We show them, of course, the items from the shopping cart. But we also tell them that we're here to help them. The difference between us and Amazon and bigger merchants is that we have better customer support. Most of the times, that's the case. That's how smaller businesses, come out on top and are able to manage it. And we build up confidence. Client testimonials, product reviews, anything that we can do to show there's a community, even if it's a small community, it's a community that's behind this product and this brand. Because one thing that COVID really messed up was the confidence of website visitors in brands they do not know or stores they do not know. During COVID, there was this huge influx of new e-commerce businesses that were opened overnight, drop shipping, no customer support, no stock, money went into black holes, and people are kind of resilient into working with a new brand. But if you have customer support, if you have a physical store they can visit you at, show these things in the cart abandonment email. Finally, checkout abandonment, which is, of course, the most important one from the abandonment flows. Checkout abandonment is the flow that we send out 3 emails for. And we want to incentivize at least once per customer lifetime, or at least once per year for every customer. We want to incentivize them to complete their purchase. Email number 1 doesn't incentivize, just a reminder, but emails number 2 and 3 should offer an incentive. Because anyway, if you're on Shopify, on WooCommerce, on most sites, they're not going to be able to use both the welcome coupon and the checkout coupon. So you're still going to, you're at least going to raise interest if it's a new subscriber, but you don't want to lose them. One thing that is actually something we learned over the years about the cart and the checkout flow is when to send the second email. Most companies out there and most agencies and our clients, if they have that, they were sending email number 2 after 1 day, after 24 hours. We learned some years ago that the best time to send email number 2, regardless of the client, the size, the country, and everything, is 23 hours after the abandonment was registered. Why? Because you are ruling out the time of day problem, which is lunch break over, had to take my kids to school, something happened, I had to leave home, etc. So sending the second email 1 hour before an entire day completes, and of course the third email as well, we typically do like plus 3 days minus 1 hour. So we add another 71 hours to email number 3 for these two very important emails. Post-purchase, the thank you email, super underutilized, unfortunately. Sometimes there's not even a thank you email that gets sent out. But we do the new customer flow or the thank you email we want to accomplish a couple of things out of it. We typically send out 4 emails. Email number 1 is a sincere thank you, and showing them where they can find our community and have them join it. There's typically a very good feeling from a new customer, so that's the time when you're most likely going to get new followers on your social channels. Email number 2 is about us helping them with something. Talk to your customer support team. If 2 out of 5 customers, or even 2 out of 10 customers, voice the same questions to your customer support team, most likely those are questions all of your customers are going to have. Get those questions, those 3-4 questions, add them in an email and say, we got your order, we're processing it. By the way, clients typically ask us about this, and that, and here's what's happening. This is going to set you up for a great momentum, because people are going to be like, okay, actually, I had this small concern in my mind. They covered it. I'm going to open every single email that this company sends me, at least the next one, which is very important, because the next one, email number 3 from the welcome flow, from the thank you flow, is an email in which we try to generate the second purchase. But this gets typically sent out like 20 days after the first purchase was done. We incentivize it. Whatever the incentive is going to be, it's going to be cheaper than remarketing campaigns. The customer acquisition cost is most likely going to be higher than whatever discount you're going to be offering. And email number 4 is, again, about trying to putting urgency on that incentive, on that discount, on that offer. Cross-selling, you need to have if you have data about this, and if you don't, you should, because we have so many great tools today for data analysis that were only available to huge companies 10 years ago. Just get not on ChatGPT, don't load your order data on ChatGPT. That's very bad. But just download the GPT for All, for example, on your own machine. That's on your own machine. You load your data, you have it analyze it, and have it tell you, okay, what are the products that get bought together, and build a cross-sell flow. Don't overthink it. Just start with one pair of products, then add another one, then add another one. Don't overthink it. That's the biggest problem. That's why most of the clients we ever worked with didn't have anything like this built out, because they tried to make it perfect. No, just start, and it's going to build itself up over time by giving you more data. Review request, or UGC, extremely important, especially from a trust and confidence perspective. Any product that's going to have reviews is going to get better sales. Number 1. Number 2, you're going to do better on ads, as long as you, of course, push your reviews within the feed, within the Google Shopping feed. And number 3 is going to help you with SEO, because it's going to be free content. Incentivize it. 100% is going to be a better bang for your buck than when you just dump money on Google Ads and Meta and TikTok. Re-engagement flows, the win-back and the sunset. So win-back, you need to, again, analyze your data and figure out when is a client churning? When do I want to send out that fantastic, cannot miss it offer that I would only send out if I want to win back that client? And think about it very, very well. Can you actually win that client back? Is your business, your product, the type of product that's going to generate a second purchase? Don't just build out the win back flow just because, I tell you to, or you see it online. Think about it, because if your business doesn't have the capacity of getting a second order within a significant, a specified amount of time, use the win back to generate a referral. We call it friends and family coupon in the win back as a last resort. So if you're unable to win that client back, at least give him something to share with his network so that they win something out of it. He feels good because he or she, they feel good because they shared something and they made someone's day better, and you get another client. Sunsetting, we use this for cleanup. So when we get low engagement, we just try to re-engage them with like the funniest subject lines, funniest emails, most engaging emails, letters from the CEO, things like that. And if it's still not working, we just remove those subscribers from the sends that we do. Tracking and KPIs. Are you tracking email open rates, click-through rates, conversions, and revenue per email? These are going to be the most important KPIs that you need to be monitoring. Again, you have such great tools at your disposal today. We ourselves, we use, but I'm going to go into that, AI-specified tools for data analysis, and we're able to look at many more KPIs than just these, because now it's not just us. There's a machine helping us as well. Do you use UTM tags to track emails in Google Analytics? Super important. And if you're not, you definitely need to add it, because you want to make sure that digital ads or SEO or like organic, paid, they get their fair share. This gives you a clearer perspective, a clearer view of where your traffic is actually coming from. Super important. Content and design consistency. Are your emails mobile optimized? Of course, look for dark mode as well, because there's, I saw some statistics like 15% of users use dark mode, and 0% of businesses do dark mode optimization, verification. Just do a quick verification, have a phone with dark mode and check it. Do your emails reflect your brand, logo, colors, and tone of voice? There's nothing worse than one email being all red, the other email being all pink, the other email being all yellow. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but maintain consistency. We do this by creating templates for different types of emails that we want to send out. We have template for automation, template for new arrivals, template for deals, and a lot of the emails actually stay the same. Just some elements within the emails are modifying. And your sending frequency. What we typically do for our clients is, based on their engagement, we create a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly segments where we can actually email people that will be responding by opening or clicking on those emails correctly. In terms of frequency, what we typically do is 3 to 4 emails per month, newsletters for the vast majority of our clients, even the big ones. And it's getting us better results than they did before with 10, 12, 15, 16 emails per month. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see this on your screens. Maybe you want to zoom in, but what you have on the screen right now is a blueprint. What we built for our clients, it's a blueprint. The blueprint explains to the client how everything is going to work. Like in the center, at the very top, which is kind of clipped off right now, it's the entry points, which is going to be pop-up, website footer, form on social media channel, etc. Landing pages, or for companies that have brick and mortar locations as well, or retail locations, you can also add like iPads or tablets on your counter and incentivize people with candy or whatever works for your customer to subscribe to your newsletter. So you have those entry points, and then you have the email automation in the middle. You don't need to do it like this. This is more, I don't know, complicated. We do this for our clients because we have the template built up, and it's not that huge effort for us to build it out. But it's important to have it because on this, you can add your coupon codes. You can add the reasons why people are getting these, and you can share this with your customer support team. And when your customer support team gets that email saying my coupon isn't working, they're just like, okay, let me look. So which coupon? Welcome 10? Are you already a subscriber? Yes. Okay, so that's why it's not working. So you're enabling your support team to debug these kind of situations on their own. Plus, it gives you clarity. This is the revenue split from these flows for what these flows did for our clients last year. So based on $29.6 million in revenue, we split that, and then 72% of that was email automation. Out of that, we had the welcome flow generated 26%, site abandonment, as I was telling you earlier, 3%, browse abandonment 5%, cart abandonment 20%, and the other ones are like 24% for checkout abandonment and 10% for new customer. These are super critical for you to have, and you need to definitely add them. New subscriber flow, we're going to go...
Stefan, I'll just quickly jump in because I'm looking at the time, and everyone's going to receive the slides as well. And you already talked us through these things, so everyone will be able to check against what they already have. So I think we can move on to the AI part of this.
Let me just quickly skip through.
And just reminding everyone, you will receive this slide. So don't worry, you did not miss out on anything.
Perfect. Okay, so how do we use AI today? Am I going to share with you a tool that's going to magically do all the work for you? No. Do I do that because I'm bad? No. I do it because I don't have that tool. If I had that tool, we would be using it as well, and you would surely know about it already, because if it's working, everybody's going to learn about it. So how do we actually use AI? And we've been using it for several years now. Number one, we use it for data analysis. So the old way, A/B split testing. Just imagine A/B split testing, 20 flows, 2 to 3 emails per flow, and running A/B split tests on all of them. How quickly do you think you're going to be able to forget what tests you ran 3 months ago? Super quickly. It used to take us hours and hours just to make sure that the A/B split tests we want to propose we did not run them in the past. Or, we are not just repeating something that we already did. Now, we just load our entire spreadsheet with all of the tests and the results, and we make sure very easily, in just minutes, that the test we want to do right now is not something we ran before. This is just a simple way to do it. Atomize your data, use GPT-4All because that's plenty. GPT-4All, you download it on your computer. It's less powerful than the online tools, but for data analysis, it's more than enough. And you use this for data analysis, not just for A/B split testing. You can load your sales data, sales history into a service like this as long as you atomize it, and ask it for patterns, avatars, cross-sells, related products, and so on. So don't analyze just the open rate or the revenue, unfortunately, because that's what most clients look at, just the revenue. Don't analyze just the revenue. Export your entire data out of an email marketing report or a sales report, load it up in conjecture with your needs, and then you're going to be able to get much more out of that data. AI for personalization, again, super simple. Just load your site's data onto a system like this. Any system of your choice. I don't want to make, because there's a lot of great systems out there. Just load it up and ask it to find patterns for you. And then, of course, double check it. You don't want to make decisions based on a hallucination, but double check it and find out brand affinities, product affinities, category affinities. Find out how to define them and then build up the segments based on these affinities. And I'm absolutely convinced you're going to get better results, better open rates, and better revenue, and ultimately better reputation, so more sends, by doing this. And you can do splits within your flows. And of course, when we look at the Omnisend lifecycle map of AI, you can actually see this data broken down very, very neatly. It was like 15 years ago when we were working with a client, and they had these things, and they were paying $60,000, $70,000 a month for a service that is available to everyone today, at just a fraction of that cost. These systems are here, and for me, because I've been there, it's mind-boggling. One of the things that, you definitely want to use is the product recommender from Omnisend. This allows you to actually add additional products from within any email that you send out that are built using an AI algorithm. And a lot of the times, it's going to show you much better data than you would when you just connect collections and try to show your sale items, cheapest items, and highest converting items. AI for A/B testing we just covered. AI for campaign planning, super simple. Just download your sales. You can do sales data as well, but typically GA4 is going to be sufficient for this. You can do last 1 year or 2 years so that you can account for cyclicity. And then just ask it to give you ideas about what you can send out, or back your ideas. Go have it tell you what worked in the next period of time, and then work off of that. A lot more data that you can make a decision on. And of course, you can definitely use the export data. From what we've learned, actually, is that the data that you get from Omnisend in connection with traffic data is actually going to give you a fantastic result. AI for design and content. I'm just rushing because we only have 1 minute left.
It's all good. We can go over 5 minutes. That's fine. This is the most important part.
Got it. So AI for design and content. You can use Omnisend's AI as well for subject lines and pre-headers. For email content itself, you already have that built in. What we also use AI outside of Omnisend is systems like Midjourney, for example. We used to use Midjourney quite heavily, but now the team uses actually an array of tools actually for design work. And it's a game changer when you're not sending a picture of a ring, but you're sending a picture of a model wearing that ring. When you're not sending a picture of a t-shirt or a dress, but it's on a model, it's in a lifestyle event. And it's so easy to do and to get nowadays. It's a pity not to use these systems and services to also add graphics and even animations now with VO when you convert them into GIFs. So it's a new world out there, but it still requires the service itself is the most important one, and you need to have a human operator to operate these tools. When you're starting with the Omnisend AI segment builder, that's going to be number one, a game changer for you, because you're going to be able to see right then and there, based on your email marketing data, your very first insights into what could be great segments. This is a great starting point. And again, I would take this data that Omnisend is able to provide you with when you build the segments there, take your sales data or your traffic data, put it in conjecture, and then just build up amazingly fantastic segments out there. It takes time.
I'm just sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say that it takes time, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I was going to add that, looking at the data that you have, you can ask AI from using the data from your sales, identify the patterns, and then you can go into Omnisend Segment AI Builder and be like, okay, the data says this. Can you build a segment based on that? Just talk to your AI, and this is what's going to happen. Omnisend AI is going to listen to what you said, and then you're going to build a segment that you've seen in your sales report.
Yep, or you generate out of the sales, exactly. I guess the takeaway is use data from multiple sources because you have AI, which is a luxury that companies did not have many years ago. Use as many sources as possible, combine them, and that's going to give you access to data that, again, years ago was only available to corporations. It's now available to everyone, this kind of processing power. So to wrap it up, AI is powerful, but only if your fundamentals are strong. So if you don't have DMARC set up, there's no amount of AI that's going to help you get better results from email marketing. If you don't have the fundamental flows set up, it's exactly the same. So that's why 90% of this presentation was fundamentals and email automation, because we still find companies, all the companies that come to us don't have very basic automation in place. So it's still lacking. Have that in place. That's going to get you ahead of your competitors 100%. And then use AI to really put a big distance between yourself and your competitors. So take actions. Fundamental flows in place, structured data. Am I using AI practically, or am I just chasing trends? Don't chase trends. Don't go on LinkedIn for flows. Get your automation flows in. Yeah, this is just what we covered right now. If you want to do 2 more minutes and take some questions, I think it's best if you guys choose the questions, or
We answered all the questions that were out there. I think we can yay, happy people. Everyone's enjoyed the presentation. We still have a few minutes. I think we can cover one of the questions in the Q&A slides that came from some of the people that were registering. So I will leave it up to you which one you would like out of the next 2 slides that we have.
No.
So if you just go to the next slide, you'll see it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So on this screen. What if I don't have a lot of customer data? Can AI still help? Sure. There's no amount of data that you can have that's not going to give you some sort of insights. At the very least, you can look at industry trends. You can go on Statista, for example, get like a trial and download some data about your vertical, download some data about your theoretical customer avatar, and just work off of that. Take data from somewhere else if you're just starting up, and use AI to get great insights. To get started on getting great insights, you have to interpret it. How can I tell if the AI is making a difference in my results? Ooh, interesting. The thing is, it's not just AI that's making a difference in your results. The results are, it's not just AI that's going to help you out. At the very least, if you really want to test just that, you can do a split in your browse abandonment flow, do one email just with the Omnisend product recommender feature, and another one with what you think is our top selling products. I'm absolutely convinced the Omnisend one is going to win. But that's just one example. In the end, you're not looking at just one email, you're looking at the overall strategy, and that's a combination of yourself, your skills, and the AI tools you're using. And as long as your KPIs are in the green and you're growing month to month, not exponentially. If you're growing exponentially, it's actually bad. Something is wrong. But if your KPIs are consistently growing month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, you are in a fantastic place. Don't change it. Don't go chasing trends. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Stefan. That was really helpful. And when you were talking about those things, I went back in my head to my consultancy days as well, because I was helping e-commerce businesses to launch overall.
Oh, wow.
And I would just feel, that sensei in old movies or animations where you're just sitting there and you're telling the young kid that wants to be super cool and you think they're so great, just being like, get the basics right, just you need these basics, these foundations. And that's what I would do with those businesses, those e-commerce businesses that I would be launching for my clients, be like, it's always the same checklist. Like, of course, you learn and you optimize it, but it's always the same. And to this day, like it's been almost a decade now, and like it's
Yeah,
still the same. I could just
it
open
is.
that checklist and it would be the same.
Exactly. And it's crazy how you still need to do this every single time. But it's actually good for everybody joining this webinar. If they're gonna roll up their sleeves and implement these flows, you guys are gonna have a fantastic advantage against your competitors because they're not doing it. It's basic but important.
Exactly. And also, when it comes to AI, we emphasize getting data and getting good, clean data as well for us to use for AI and having these workflows in place. That will give you a lot of accurate data. What do your customers like? What do they respond to? What messages, what's the workflow that you need, whether how many emails, SMS you need to add in. So if you have these foundations set up, that's your source of data that you can use later for other communications or campaigns because hey, this segment likes this segment likes this, and then you can implement it into your campaigns.
Exactly. It just starts to make sense. Once you have the fundamentals in place, you're in a place where you can grow, you can build, you have a foundation. We tell clients it's a foundation. Based on this foundation, we can grow. And I perfectly agree with you. Bye.
Yeah, and then like once you have those automations in place, then that's when you start making money. You can invest in AI tools, the fancy ones you like, and then use those. So I think again, going back to at the beginning, that's email marketing is not dead. You can make lots of money in ROI back from it. It's fundamental for e-commerce. And once you have that running, that's when you can start chasing the fun stuff, if that's your vibe. You see another trend, something on LinkedIn or anything, like you can try it out, but then you can only do it. Well, you can do it whenever, but we recommend you only doing it once you have those fundamentals in place.
Exactly. Perfectly
And
agree with you.
and any final words for everyone when it comes to AI? Is there anything else you keep repeating yourself to your customers when it comes to it?
It's all. I'm in awe of the tools, of the services that we have today at our disposal. Even when I compare just to like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, but when I think back like 10, 15 years ago and 15 years when I was getting started, it's like Star Wars and Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's completely different. So I tell clients it's a fantastic time to leverage tools and gain a lot of distance between ourselves and our competitors. And we need to leverage AI, and we need to leverage it well through data analysis, especially. I think that's what we use it mostly for, and not necessarily mostly, because I think our email marketers spend more time in like the graphic design tools than we do analyzing in the data analysis ones. But I think um, that's the biggest impact for data analysis, because you can do the job of an entire team of data scientists, not all of it, but a big chunk of it at a fraction of the cost or at no cost in some cases.
Yes, absolutely agree. I love that feature as well. Just because now you can just talk to your AI tools and just be like, hey, tell me more about what you see in this data. And that's what having a consultant in data feels like. You just ask them, what can you see? What can you tell me? And then move on from that. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Again, everyone, you will receive the recording of this. You will receive the slides. You will also see the link at the very end where you can contact Stefan and his team, ask any follow-up questions, get his expertise. So don't worry, we'll include everything in the follow-up email. And again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, bye. Thank you, Ira.